You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rudrance for Black and White Sports 2. Well, I think one of the real fascinating stories now, obviously, in football is going to be where Derek Carr ends up, what happens with Derek Carr, where he might go. And, of course, this is all rolling into the fact that after the season, Tom Brady's a free agent, unrestricted. So is Jimmy Garoppolo, unrestricted. And you cannot help but think that Josh McDaniels must have a QB plan up his sleeve. There's already speculation. As of right now, people are breaking down how a trade of Derek Carr to the Patriots would work. Because, look, it's always kind of been known that Belichick likes Derek Carr, all right? I would have thought Josh McDaniels would have liked Derek Carr. That's what's so surprising about this. But I think three quarterbacks Josh McDaniels views as being a better option than Derek Carr. All right, Tom Brady, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Mac Jones, all three. All three have extensive experience in his system and better completion percentages, which is something that Josh McDaniels is going to put a premium on, is having a really good completion percentage. And Derek Carr's completion percentage is not great this year. It's like 60%. Even as bad a year as Mac Jones has had in that Matt Patricia, Joe Judge circle jerk of an offensive nightmarish concoction that Bill Belichick put together, he's still almost 66% on his completion percentage. So the one thing that Mac Jones is accurate. And he threw a beautiful deep ball the other day, about 50 yards, laid it right in the receiver's hands. Receiver dropped it. He truly has no, and I'm just going to keep it real, he's got no real even high-end second receiver. Certainly doesn't have a first in that offense. So let's get to this because the betting favorites, as of right now, there is a betting favorite for where Tom Brady is going to end up, and the Raiders are it. Yeah. People are already drawing the line between Josh McDaniels and Tom Brady. They are with Jimmy Garoppolo as well. Notable QB favored to join Raiders for the 2023 season. The Las Vegas Raiders will be going in a different direction at quarterback in 2023, and a notable player is favored to be their quarterback. I cannot help but believe Josh McDaniels already has a pretty good idea who his next quarterback is going to be. I may be wrong. Maybe he has no plan. Maybe he is a total train wreck. Okay, and as of right now, it looks like he may be a total train wreck. But he's got to have some kind of plan. We got to remember, part of benching Derek Carr here is Derek Carr not getting injured. Okay, and you may be like, well, how will a trade work? Well, they will actually agree to a trade in principle sometime around the Super Bowl time, okay? And so it'll be before the league year. It'll be the same way that the Alex Smith thing happened from Kansas City over to the Commanders. They agreed to a trade way early in January, end of January, I think it was. And then when the league year actually rolls over, that's when the trade goes through and all the specifics get worked out. Or they'll have the specifics. That's just when it'll all become official, quote unquote. All right. The Raiders on Wednesday effectively parted ways with Derek Carr, who will likely be traded over the offseason, though they are giving Jarrett Stidham a look in Week 17. He will not be the team's quarterback of the future. Instead, a familiar name is actually the betting favorite to be their QB next season. Sportsbetting.ag listed the odds for who will be the Raiders quarterback in Week 1 for 2023. And Tom Brady is the favorite, followed by Jimmy Garoppolo. Tom Brady at 3-1, Jimmy G at 4-1. And then a mixture of veterans and what's going to be rookies. Anthony Richardson, 5-1. What? C.J. Stroud 7-1, Will Levis 7-1, Jared Stidham 8-1, Lamar Jackson 9-1, Baker Mayfield 12-1. That's not out of the realm of possibility. Josh McDaniels loves Baker. Bryce Young 12-1. He could at least be on the roster. Aaron Rodgers 22-1. Brady is favored to play for the Raiders next season for a few reasons. One, he will be a free agent and able to choose his team. Two, the Raiders nearly had a deal with Brady in 2020 before he signed with the Bucs. Three, the Raiders have Josh McDaniels at head coach, who served as Brady's longtime offensive coordinator in New England. There are numerous rumors about Brady for 2023. The Raiders, 49ers, or Saints as a package deal could all make sense. He could retire, and when they say Saints as a package deal, they're talking about Sean Payton. Because, look, it's starting to be heavily rumored. He's just going back to the Saints. Like, he took a year off to recharge. He's going to have some kind of a plan to bring in a quarterback, and then Sean Payton's back to being the head coach of the Saints next year. And if you're a Saints fan, you couldn't be happier about that, I would think. He could also retire, too, of course. It's all fun to think about, though Tom has more work to be done this season with Tampa Bay first. As for the Raiders, bringing in Brady might be more desirable than trying to develop a low-tier QB prospect from the draft in 2023. Okay, so leave it to New England media, Nesson, to start talking about Carr to the Patriots and how the trade would work. Okay, so let's just check this out. I find this interesting. Some believe the Patriots should consider moving on from Mac Jones. Look, if you don't plan on bringing in a real offensive coordinator, a Bill O'Brien, then yeah, trade Mac. Let the kid go somewhere so he can be successful. Consider moving on from Mac Jones this offseason while adding Derek Carr, who appears to be in his final days as a member of the Raiders. We would strongly advise against such a plan, but we've been wrong before. But if the Patriots wanted to acquire Carr this offseason, could they even do it? The answer is absolutely. Honestly, there isn't much stopping them from doing it beyond Carr's no-trade clause, and whatever possible internal issues would be created by making such a franchise-altering move. But if New England wants Carr, it should be able to get him. First, let's go over the contract. Carr last season signed a 3-year extension worth $121.5 million, including a $65.2 signing or $1 million guarantee, 25 of which was a signing bonus. Sorry about that. The extension officially kicks in next season, runs through 2025. However, the key date is February 5th, 3 days after the Super Bowl. On that day, Carr must be paid the remaining $40 million of a guaranteed contract, 33 of which is his in 2023 base salary, with the other 7.5 being a portion of his 2024 pay. Carr is due no guaranteed money in 2025. So no, one way or another, Carr likely will be on the move by February 15. The Raiders could release or trade before that date with minimal financial ramifications. Vegas would only be on the hook for $5.6 million in dead cap in 2023. Oh yeah, so he could definitely be cut. If he waits until to do so after February 15th, but before June 1, it'll absorb the same dead cap hit, but also have to pay the $40 million. That's not going to happen. Somebody else is going to pay that. Doing so after June 1 would result in a dead cap hit of $1.87 million in 2023 and $3.75 million in 2024. But it almost certainly won't get to that point. The Raiders clearly don't want to pay Carr that $40 million, which would automatically be guaranteed if suffered a major injury. That's why he's benched right now. If you're wondering why the Raiders bench Carr with 2 games left, despite not being eliminated from postseason contention, look no further. Exactly. That's exactly right. By the way, if I was a Patriots, would I consider getting rid of Mac Jones? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't make this trade. Question is whether the Patriots or any team for that matter would want to do both. Trade assets and agree to pay $40 million. Seems awfully expensive for Belichick, who is an average starter that probably isn't franchise quarterback material. McDaniels and the Raiders clearly don't think he is. I don't know. I just feel like there's something about his system that's not agreeing with Carr. I mean, his statistics bear out a franchise quarterback starter the previous at least 3 to 4 seasons prior to that. I mean, he had one sort of down year in there. But good God, I was looking at Derek Carr's stats. In his third season, he finished third in the MVP voting. I'm not sure if people realize that. You know, the only thing that's always bothered me about him is his touchdown to interception ratio is just, it's much more 2-1 than it is 3-1. And I feel like you really should be closer to 3-1. My God, Garoppolo was 4-1 when he got hurt this year. So, anyway, I just want to take a glance at that. Yeah, it could happen. I mean, if the Patriots wanted to maneuver it around, I'm not making that call. I said the other day I thought the Jets were a possibility, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think Mike White will get a real chance to be the starting quarterback with the Jets. Now, with this much money, I don't know. The Colts seem obvious here. I mean, they truly do. Tom Brady goes somewhere else. Tampa Bay becomes pretty obvious, right? The Commanders could be in play. All right, Taylor Heineke, Carson Wentz, not exactly set here with those two. So there's going to be some place that's going to take a chance on Derek Carr. I know Haberman and Middlecoff brought up Carr in the 49ers. If they didn't have Brock Purdy, or I guess my feeling is if you're going to go into a situation where you're thinking we're going to move off Purdy, but with his salary, you're going to keep him at least as a backup, right? Brock Purdy, if he's not your starter going forward. If you're going to go to Carr, why would you not just re-sign Jimmy Garoppolo? Okay, I mean, really and truly, when you start breaking down the stats, looking and deep into the stats, Garoppolo is a better quarterback than Derek Carr. He just is. His touchdown to interception ratio, better. Completion percentage, about the same. And Carr throws for more yards. Garoppolo wins more games, and it's not even close. Okay? So, and he's got much more playoff experience. And he already knows Kyle Shanahan's offense inside and out. So, I mean, you just be sort of, it just wouldn't make any sense for the Niners. Buccaneers, maybe. If Bruce Arians was their coach still, I would say, oh, yeah, you definitely got to watch down there. So, that's it. Tom Brady is the leading contender to go to the Raiders to replace Carr, and then who knows where Carr's going. All these teams are going to get brought up, and some people are, I mean, Carr is even more than Jimmy Garoppolo because everybody will argue Jimmy. I can already tell Mac Jones is going to be one of those dudes that everybody argues about. People are either going to like him or they're going to hate him. And it's going to be the same thing. I mean, there's like a group of 5 guys, Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr, Jimmy Garoppolo. Used to be Carson Wentz was in there. Now I think he's shown he's out of that list. Maybe Baker's trying to slide back in, but to me, Baker's not even worthy of being in the category with those 3. Mac Jones is kind of sliding in with those guys. Now, I don't know. Derek Carr to me is a notch below Garoppolo, a notch below Cousins, and is he top 20? Yeah. Is he probably top 15? Probably. But honestly, Garoppolo was steamrolling towards being a top 10 quarterback this year. Think about that. Kirk Cousins, top 13 maybe. I don't know. Dak Prescott is in that same group too. All guys I feel like you can win a Super Bowl with if you got great coaching, good defense, and a strong running game. You could win a Super Bowl with any of those dudes. But the problem is you got to You got to get past Mahomes, and you got to get past Allen if you make the Super Bowl. Probably, right? Burrow is probably an outlier. Herbert's going to be an outlier going forward. But it means you're going to have to score some real points to beat either one of those teams in a Super Bowl matchup eventually. Right? What about if you're Green Bay? Nobody's brought that up. Packers lose Aaron Rodgers. He retires. There you go. There's rumors out there that the Packers like Jimmy Garoppolo. You know, they might like Derek Carr too. That either one of them would certainly keep the Packers competitive in that division. One would argue better than what they got right now. I mean, but Rodgers has finally started picking it back up, but you get the point. I don't know. Damn, 15-plus minutes on this. This is going to be a good one for the podcast. If you're listening on the podcast, make sure you hit subscribe. We're going to call this a podcast, video podcast for this one. It's so damn long. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.